on what they do. Anybody want to be a journalist when they grow up? Yeah, one hand, two hands, a few. Yeah, we need journalists in the future. We need camera people in the future. Plenty of good jobs in the media. The media is really in a time of change. The new technology that you just think is part of your everyday life because you've always had it. For the rest of us, it's an incredible journey of change. And so our media industry is changing because of the technology. Media plays an incredibly important role in getting information to people. But because of the demands of the age in which we live, and I'm sure some of the media people you can see here could tell you all about it. In the old days, if you worked for the news, you might go out and film a story, and that'd be the 6 o'clock news. If you worked for a newspaper, you'd think all day and you'd generate some stories that got filed that evening for the next day's newspaper. Now the demands on our media people are that they've got to be putting in their film every hour of the day because the news is continuous and there's 24-hour news, and they've got to be feeding that the whole time. And when they're not doing that, they're on Twitter, and when they're not doing that, they're engaging with people on blogs. And it's true for people in the newspapers too. It's not the one story for next day's newspaper. There are several deadlines during the day. And all of those pressures mean, I think, that whilst the volume of our media is more than it's ever been before, the actual depth is a problem. It's a problem for everybody to get to the depth, the really deep conversations that are important to sustaining our national discussions about the issues that matter. And that's not meant to be critical of any individual. It's just one of the things in this time of change. And so I think we're going to work our way through this time of change, and the volume will still be there, but I actually think there'll be media outlets that really focus on that depth, because people, including you, who will be educated, informed voters, will want that depth of information, and you'll get it in new and different ways than your mum or your dad did, but you'll be demanding of it. Sometimes we end up focusing on the superficial. I signed off yesterday disability care, going to make a difference to almost 100,000 people in this state with disabilities. People were a bit more interested perhaps in some parts of the media in whether or not someone had thrown a sandwich at me at a school. Very overhyped story, but let me tell you, the thing that's going to endure, the thing that makes a difference, that's disability care, not those random stories that come and go within less than a 24-hour cycle. So we'll, I said we'd take some in the middle here. The girls who had their hands up here, perhaps we could pass the microphone to the girl here. Yes, you just looking behind. Yeah, you, if you'd like to stand up. And the microphone's coming over that way.
Prime Minister, I was wondering how you handled criticism.
How I deal with criticism? Well, I think I get a bit. You might have noticed that. Get a bit of criticism. Look, it's number one. It's inherent that if you're out there pushing hard on ideas and pushing hard for change, there will be people who criticise those ideas, those proposals for change. It's sort of inherent in being Prime Minister. I think being the first woman Prime Minister, there are some areas that people get interested in and have all got a view on, which probably we didn't worry about so much with male Prime Ministers, particularly the question of what I wear, what my jackets look like, whether I've stumbled in high heels that day, whether I've stepped out of my shoe that day going upstairs, all of that kind of stuff. So, you know, that just sort of silliness, but you learn to live with it. But, you know, in terms of dealing with it personally, I think the most important thing, and it doesn't really matter whether you're Prime Minister or whether you've got any other job or role in life, the most important thing is to have a really strong sense of yourself. If you end up viewing yourself entirely based on what others say about you, then that is really a recipe for a life where you will be buffeted by tremendous ups and downs. So, you know, on a day when the newspapers are being very critical of me, I'm the same person as I am on the day that the newspapers are being very complimentary about me. So I don't let that external stuff govern my image of who I think I am and my understanding of myself. And I think if you can do that, I've got to do it in more, you know, public and potentially extreme circumstances than most people do. But if you can do that generally in life, then I think that will give you real resilience as life's ups and downs inevitably come. Thanks for the question. Right, we'll go over here. What about the girl right on the end there, and then we'll come to one in the front, and then we'll go up the back.
Prime Minister Gillard, I was wondering when you would visit the ASDO talking about the low pensions of the veterans of Army, Air Force and the Navy.
We have a system of pensions for our former Defence Force personnel, and they are pensions that are more generous, as they well should be, more generous.
Well, not just in terms of financial well-being and jobs, but also in terms of health and the work that they're doing.
So those pensions are more generous. There's been a debate about what the indexation rate for those pensions should be. It is different than the indexation rate for the age pension, but the age pension is of a far lower value, and it's a broad entitlement, whereas these pensions and benefits are of a far higher value. So I do understand that debate will continue, and I think in that debate it's just important we get the comparisons right and we also get the costings right. Some of the proposals for change are proposals that would cost, billions and billions of dollars, and people need to think about where any government funding goes and where they think it should be put. For me, I think it's important we continue the generous pension system. When I say generous, I mean in comparison with the old age pension. I don't want to suggest that, compared with lots of people in the workforce, it's generous. It's an amount, in excess of the old age pension. So I want to see us having a really good system to support our retired personnel, not only in what they're paid in income support, but in healthcare. We've got a good healthcare system now, but we're looking to add to it because we are expecting, in particular, as we see soldiers return from Afghanistan, that there will be a number of post-traumatic stress issues that we'll need to work through with those people who have served our country so well. Now, if we can just take one here, and then we'll see, I fooled a bit then. She went down the back, and then she's coming to the front, and we'll take one down the back after that. So just the girl here. Thank you.
Prime Minister, I was wondering how you intended to keep your position in the years to come.
Right, well, first and foremost, there's an election in September, so we've got to get out and win that. So I'm very focused on doing that, getting out and winning the election. And then, the cycle of our politics is that, it's always the Australian people at election times, political parties that make decisions about leadership, who, govern these questions for the future. For me, what I really want to do is continue after the election, having been re-elected to lead a majority Labor government. We are at the moment in a minority parliament where we need to make arrangements with others to get pieces of legislation through, to lead a majority Labor government to keep working on the really big things that will make a difference for your future. School funding's one of them. National Broadband Network is one of them. Clean energy is one of them. Being ready to seize all of the opportunities of growth in our region is one of them, and a better deal for people with disabilities too. So we might send a bit right down the back now. Maybe if you could hand the microphone through to the girl here. She's got like a greenish watch on. That was you.
Minister.